Firstly, we will discuss about what is Internet of Things, or known as IoT. According to the group of RFID, Internet of Things or IoT are worldwide networks that are interconnected, uniquely addressable for billions of people around the world to communicate, recognize, and respond without human intervention. As we now move towards the Green ICT is all about how to minimize the impact of the negativity from the ICT perspective towards humans and environment thoroughly. The most important part in Green ICT is to remove the footprints of ICT which are using a sustainable component, cost effectiveness, save energy, and the most importantly, how to dispose it in a green way. In this literature review, it says that Green ICT must specifically address some of the areas that can be improved. Firstly, the waste of materials in ICT equipments are mined or manufactured. Second, the state in which the materials are produced and the energy consumed in this process. Thirdly, transportation of ICT materials to consumers. Fourth, the energy needed in the usage of the ICT. And lastly, the fifth, the disposal of the ICT at the end of their lifetime. Now, we move into the section of green ICT efforts around the world. Currently, there are 3 countries which are hauling a lot of budget in investing of the green ICT. The first country is Korea, then Australia, and the last one is our own country, which is Malaysia. For the first example, which is Korea, the Korea has implemented a green policy effort since the past years. The Korea are researching for a new implementing green policy efforts, especially in the analytical hierarchy process, which will help Korea increase the policy effectiveness in their countries. So now we move to our own country, which is Malaysia. So since July 2010, in Malaysia we have a working group specialized in green ICT, which is purposely to encourage the people in Malaysia to practice green ICT, especially in telecommunication sector. They want people to conserve energy, reduce the carbon emission, and use the disposal of hazardous e-waste in a correct manner. That is their most main purposes of their group. In Australia, there has an organization called the Australian Computer Society, or known as ACS. Their purpose is developing a green ICT policy which will minimize the organizational carbon footprint and giving advice on how to handle the decomposition of all ICT equipment, and also leverage innovative technologies to reduce the carbon dioxide emission and reduce the power consumption. Now, we move into the IoT application, which is the first one, the IoT communication architecture, which consists of sensory nodes, application domain, and network domain, which makes IoT communication architecture become efficient and reliable. The most general problem that exists in IoT communication architecture is that there is so large consumption of power energy. So how do we tackle this, and how do we find the solution? According to Menovic 2006, there are ways on how we can tackle this problem. Firstly is by carefully using the algorithm. Second is carefully regulating the transmission power. And thirdly is by using the correct computing technique inside the communicating protocol, which will help the IoT communication in energy efficiency. Another way to tackle this problem is by using active scheduling inside the nodes of the IoT communication, which is some of the active nodes will be put under the low power consumption or energy saving mode, known as sleeping mode, which will make some of the subset of the nodes to be active and some of them to be sleep. Thus, this will preserve and secure the original functionality of the IoT communication. The second IoT application that we will be discussing now is the RFID, or known as radio frequency identification. It is one of the IoT devices which are widely used, especially by the big player, for example, Walmart. The purposes of this RFID is it attached to this object and it will make us to recognize and know where and what are the object is. RFID is actually consists of a small chips and antenna. Thus, it is very easy to be used. Besides that, in terms of green ICT, it is passive and batteryless. Then the RFID also can be recycled easily. Now, we move on to the last part of IoT application, which is the smart cities. So, UN, or the United Nations, has predicted that by the end of 2050, the world population will increase from 7.5 billion into 10 billions of people. This is because the modernization of the medicine that improve the significant growth of the human. Besides that, by having the green IoT and the advancement of ICT has helped the human to live a better life and also to make the environment be a better place to live. In terms of smart cities, green IoT can be installed and embedded in different and countless of fields such as agriculture, education, transportation, and many more. So, by having this green IoT in all these countless fields will enable the worldwide to connect and make the world more greener, safer, and secure. So, there are many types of green IoT application that can be used to be implemented in the smart cities to make it realized, such as the wireless sensor network WSN, the radio frequency identification RFID, the cognitive radio, the big data analytic, nanotechnologies, biometric, and so on and so forth. In summary, as the world moves toward the green technology, especially the Green Internet of Things or GIoT, it is the most suitable and adequate solution to the human because it gives none of the bad influence to the environment and to the human health. Because green IoT or Green Internet of Things use, produce and dispose their product and services in a green manner, thus making the green IoT a very important tool to the technology of the future and to the smart world. It is wise to call the green IoT as the backbone of the future. Thank you.